another week of Nail Art Alphabet. I'm Erica from Eclectic Enchantments, and this week's theme was suggested by Helen, who put forward the idea of oranges. The first thing that came to my mind, besides the fruit, was a sunset. So I'm actually going to show you how to do the ombre, umber, however you want to say it, effect with tropical colours, obviously with orange being the main theme, and then we're going to put some nail art onto the back, the base colour, and create a sunset image. So the effect we're going for initially is this one, and as you can see the main part of it is the orange in there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And the nail varnish that I'm wearing today is Be Complete. It's a really deep, rich plum colour called Mulberry. And there we go. And I'm going to be using a variety of varnishes in today's tutorial. I'm going to be using a yellow from Neon Nails and an orange from Neon Nails. I'm also going to be using an orange from Nails Inc, a pink from La Femme Beauty. It's a really lovely rich neon pink, and then my current favourite pink, which is a Jelly High Shine by Barry M. So those are the colours that I'm going to be using. Let's crack on. As with the last time when I showed you how to do this effect, where the colours graduate from one to another, or dark to light, through a series of different shades, however you want to do it, I explained to you that you need to use a makeup sponge, which you can get pretty much anywhere, and then you just need to wet that. As you can see, I've already laid out my colours here because before I started filming, I painted the other 4 nails just to save on time, because you don't need to see me do it 5 times. So what we need to do is we need to load each colour onto the sponge. Now, with it being slightly moist, what that does is it prevents the nail varnish from actually soaking too much into the sponge, meaning that we're going to get more colour onto our nails. Now obviously this is going to be a little bit more difficult if you are doing it by hand onto your actual nails rather than onto these samples that I'm using, or onto false nails. I'd suggest rolling onto the sponge, which is what I'm going to show you today, rather than rolling the sponge onto the nails. It's going to get messy, and you're going to need some cotton buds and some nail varnish remover to clear up around the edges of your nails once you've finished applying. Just in case you're noticing my hands today, I've actually still got a bit of henna left on, so they look a bit mucky, I have to say, so apologies for that. Right, so we've loaded up our colours. What we need to do, forget to turn my phone off again, what we need to do is to pick up obviously your nails, or however you're doing this, and then decide which way up you're going to want it. I'm going to do it with the lightest colour towards the base of the nail. So if this was going onto my hand, it would go that way. And then all you need to do is to just push down. Now the first coat, I'd push down a little bit harder. Obviously you need to have a base coat on first, and then just roll it until you get a very light coating. And as you can see, it is quite different to our finished article, and that's because we need to build the coats up. So what we're going to do is to let this one dry, and then once that's dried we can do the second coat. So what we need to do is to just lift up our nail again and then place that for a second time over. And as you can see, it's still quite faint and it's not really smoothed in the lines are quite defined, as you can see with the finished article, and that's why we need to put a few more coats on. So we just let that dry again, and then we'll add another coat, and you keep going until you're happy with the desired effect that you get. And when you reach that point, that's when you stop, let it dry, and then we can carry on. Okay, so we're all dry and the gradient is looking quite good, and I'm happy with the richness of the colour. The whole idea of using a sunset brought about a further idea of a design that I like to do when I do artwork, which I don't do very often, but when I do, this design is something that I find is quite effective, and it's to do a silhouette design. So we're just going to be using one colour, and that's the black from my Rio nail set, and all I'm going to do is to just create a scene going across the 5 nails. So I'm going to start by just creating the ground and then building on that. Obviously when you're doing yours, you can do whatever you want. You could have, I don't know, unicorns and fairies or shapes. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Obviously it can be whatever you want, and you can do it one nail at a time, or you can work across the design for all of them, or you can even have one design per nail, have a different gradient on each nail. Whichever idea springs to mind, that's what you should do, and just experiment. So I'm just going to finish off doing this bit, and I like to create interest with the silhouettes, so to just move the ground up and down so it's just not completely flat. And it doesn't really matter if you make any mistakes either, because it's easily covered up or added into the design. This bit doesn't seem to want to finish. I think I've got a blockage. There we go. Okay, so that we don't need to wait for anything to dry when using just the one colour, because obviously we're not going to get any bleeding into other designs. So what we want to do next, that we after we've finished our base, is to put the actual designs on. Now I'm going to do some trees, and you, like I say, you can do whatever you want. You can have palm trees, you can have something less exotic, more exotic. So we've got a palm tree there, and I think we'll put a slightly smaller one, maybe. Well, there we go, it's turned into 2. Just there. So now we need something on the other 3 nails. Right, so we've got our palm trees. I think I'm going to do a person. Just standing with the breeze. Just creating a bit of interest. And then there's a couple of seagulls. And for the last one, I'm going to put a four-legged friend. And we can even add a little collar and lead. And there we go. Our finished design. You can, as I said, put whatever you want on there. Your imagination is literally the only thing that is going to stop you from creating anything. So, you know, you use whatever comes into your mind. And there we have it, our sunset silhouette along the theme of orange. And I really like how the orange has turned out on this one. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Erica from Eclectic Enchantments. Don't forget to leave me a comment below, check out my blog, and also leave me a suggestion for the next letter, which is Q. Be kind. I have a feeling Q is going to be a difficult one. And that was Hendrix saying goodbye. Are you saying goodbye? No, he doesn't want to now. There we go. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.